Cuffs and Curves is the movie I'm reviewing today, and this movie is executive produced by Onyii Alex. Producer is Uchenna Bonabo. The movie can be found on Onyii Alex TV, and also the director of this movie was Effiong. Now, this movie talks about a couple who are struggling to have a child. The husband doesn't have a problem with it, but the wife is finding solution to this problem. Basically, this is what this movie is about. What I like about this movie, let's start with Daniel Etim. This guy is a very interesting character. He really had a little or quite interesting chemistry with Onyii Alex in this movie. This movie comes with a lot of sexual attraction, a lot of bedmatism between the couple. So I saw a little bit of that between Daniel and Onyii. That was interesting to see, seeing how let go how Onyii Alex was on set with Daniel, and that was really fantastic to see. Daniel doesn't joke with his role when it comes to being a lover, a husband, boyfriend, whatever role. When it comes to romantic side of him, he always nails it. So he did justice to that. I quite enjoyed him in this movie. Then talking of Alex, a lot of people kind of say Alex doesn't know how to act. For me, depending on what movie she's in, I judge her based on what she's acting. In this movie, when it comes to the romantic part of how she was acting in this movie, I quite enjoyed her. Like I said, between her and then Daniel, they kind of had chemistry when it comes to the bedmatics activities that was going on between them. So that was really interesting to see. So, but the other aspect where she kind of turned herself into the Mami Gio thing, I really find that part of her acting kind of irritating or boring or not catchy for me. But the other aspect was okay. So I'm torn between what I don't like in her acting in this movie. Another thing I love about this movie is their costume. Yes, they presented a couple as very well to do. Everybody in their respective field of work was really flourishing, so it has to reflect in where they live, how they look, how they dress. And I think I saw that in their costume wise. They dressed very, very presentable. They look really good, even when they are not going out or going to work and they're in their house. They look really, really good. So costume wise was really good. Even those who are not main characters, supporting cast, they were presented very well. So kudos to the costumier on set. They did super well. Then talking about location was another thing that I love about this movie. Location wise, I was surprised to see a new house. I'm like, okay, yeah, I love that. 2025, we need to see more of that. Tired of seeing the old houses that they have overused in 2024. So seeing this new house, or maybe not overused house, that was quite impressive. Also, Daniel was a doctor, so we saw a represented location for a hospital, a clinic, an office. We saw a nurse. That was really, really impressive. That was really nice. Then also, Onyii Alex is a fashion designer, fashion icon. That was what she was presented as in this movie. And we saw a fashion house, we saw a fashion store, we saw people in a fashion store working, and I'm like, okay, this is nice, this is good. So location wise, every aspect was touched and every aspect was shown, so that was impressive. Another thing I like about this movie is the time used. It's not 2 hours. I always applaud YouTube movies that are not 2 hours plus, because it is time and data we are using to watch. Most of these movies do not make sense, so I don't see why they need to use 2 hours plus. More than it doesn't make sense. So I always applaud when a movie is less than 2 hours. This movie is not up to 1 hour 50 minutes, and that was really good as well. Last but not the least thing that I like about this movie is the cinematography. That was really, really impressive. I like bright colors, especially if the movie storyline has to do with current conversation that is going on social media, or that is going on in our day-to-day activities or lives. So I really like that, you know, they stayed to bright colors, cinematography was on point, the lighting was good on this set or in this movie. Last but not the least thing that I like is Onyii sister, or the lady who played Onyii sister. I think her name is Vivian. I really love the way she made herself like the little sister. I don't know her age, but you know, when I see her in other movies, she looks really old, like she might be in, you know, her middle 30s, but here on this set she looks like she's in her, you know, early 20s, and I'm like, okay, she looks really different. And I love the way she was acting, very childish. I kind of understand and kind of, you know, relate, or kind of, you know, enjoyed what she did in this movie. So she was another character that I really love in this movie. Now to what I don't like about this movie. I'll start with the storyline. Guys, this movie talks about a couple who are finding it difficult to have a child. Now this movie, when the story with this storyline, there was no external disturbances. You know, normally when we have a storyline like this, you know, external forces, external family members, you know, mother-in-laws here and there disturbing the couple to have a child. That was not the case in this movie. This one, the wife, the woman herself is troubled because she has been married for a while without a child. It's like there's no problem, you are looking for problem yourself. Your husband is not even worried that, you know, you guys do not have a child. It's not as if there's a problem. It is not a problem, and you have taken it upon yourself to be a problem. That's basically what this movie is about. It's like something that is not supposed to be a problem. Nobody is disturbing you that is a problem. You stand up and say, okay, yeah, it is a problem, I need to solve it. And this is what this movie, it doesn't make sense. Like, there's no twist. Because of that, you know, you want to find solution, you turn yourself into Mami Gio. You know, you are not the calm and cool, collected, sexy wife for your husband anymore. You know, your husband is not complaining, so why are you bothered? When I was watching the movie, that was what is in my mind. Like, the person who is supposed to be bothered is not bothered. The people who are supposed to be talking about, you know, you not having a child yet are not there's nobody in the picture that is creating a problem for you to solve, and you're creating a problem for yourself. Storyline just did not make sense. It seems as if it was like, you know, a comedy, something that they put together as a movie for us to watch. If not for the fashion sense, that's the costume, and of course, you know, the chemistry between Onyii and Daniel, trust me, this movie is not it. And of course also the title is kind of catchy, Curves and Curves. I really kind of love the title, and of course, you know, the thumbnail of this movie. Everybody's producing nowadays, so yeah, the storyline just basically doesn't make sense in whatsoever. But again, it's just a fun, and also this movie is rated 18. If you can watch this movie with kids because of, you know, the things involved in it. So guys, and on that note, I rate this movie 3/10. It's basically just a fun, catchy. My rating doesn't change anything. If you want to watch it, go ahead and watch it, but you're not going to find any twist or something that will keep you on the edge, something that will keep the conversation going. You're not going to see that in this movie. It's just vibes and vibes kind of movie. That is what Onyii did with this Curves and Curves. I'll see you guys in the next movie review.